Welcome to Let's Go Shooting, where we explore photography for beginners. I'm Matthew Livingstone, and I'm here to take you on a journey. Today, we're going to be heading out into Stratford, Ontario to capture some great images, and you'll see some video along the way of me trying to explain the best I can. But by far, I'm not an expert in the field, but I am learning just like you, and every day we get a little bit stronger. So I'm pleased that you're here with me on this journey.
So before I go out shooting, I like to go through and make sure that everything is ready in my backpack. There's always things that you're going to need when you get out there, and as one of my mentors from an online forum that I follow has always said, is make sure you have the right gear with you before you go out, because there's always something that you come across that you're going to want to shoot while you're out. So you go out for one thing, and the next thing you know, there's something at a different focal length that unfortunately you're not equipped to capture, and of course you feel horrible that you've missed that opportunity. So a few things that I try to get ready before I go out is I have my cleaning kit here. This is a universal kit in which I've purchased off Amazon. It has a little bit of everything from cleaning your sensor all the way up to cleaning the lenses and the exterior of your camera. So it's always handy to have just in case you're out and about and you end up with something that ends up on your lens, and you're able to clear that up right away and properly so you don't scratch any of your expensive equipment. I've got three different main focal lengths that I bring with me. My main shooting I do with my 50, and that seems to really be a beneficial lens, and it's a 1.8, so it allows a lot of light in, really bright in low lighting situations with a full aperture. The other two right now are kit lenses, which I'm looking to upgrade and move away from those two. But for the time being, I keep them in my bag just in case there's something I want to move and be able to capture. My 18 to 55 is one that I barely use because the aperture on that is not really great, nor is the quality for that matter. And then my 75 to 300 I do use on outdoor when I'm trying to capture something in a little bit further distance or in a sporting type situation. Along with that, I do have my hoods in case there is any flare from the sun, trying to be able to capture or reduce that flare and focus into the area that we're trying to view on. On top of that, I have my flash, which I utilize for fill light if I'm shooting in any shadow or shaded type areas and I need to fill the front focal area of the image. On top of that, I have a variable 9-step ND filter, which again, if it's really bright, gives me that option to step things down a little or make it a little more moody. I always go out with two cameras. I have my main camera right now, which is my Canon T6i, which I've been shooting with at 24 megapixels. And then I have the old trusty 30D, which is down to 8 megapixels. Both produce very, very good quality images, regardless of the megapixels, as long as you've set yourself up with the right exposure and it's ready to go. So the first thing I like to do before I put everything into my kit is I like to make sure that my memory card is ready to go. So it's simply turning it on, going into your menu, into your format under the settings, and format the card. You should do this after every time you download your images and you come back in. It's a good practice to just grab your camera, make sure that you've got those images safely stored onto your hard drive or your external drive, and then go in and format that card, and that erases any of the former pictures and any of the data that's taking up any space on your SD card within your camera. This is good to keep things from getting overcrowded, and also allows you to start fresh. So if you're starting a new session, you know that when you get back and download and ready to start editing, that you're only dealing with that customer's or that day's shoot. I do carry multiple cards, so in my bag here I do have multiple cards along with my extra batteries, some extra lenses, and some additional carrying cases, along with charging cables, because you never know when something may be a long day and you want to go and take that extra opportunity to to charge while you're out. I like to carry 3 batteries for camera, and that gives me a lot of versatility in the off chance that something may fail or you need an extra battery. Anyways, so on top of this, we'll be bringing a tripod and a monopod, and we'll head out shortly here and see what we can find this morning.
Okay, so we're out and about, and I'm heading into Stratford. But on my way out, I've stopped a few times with my tripod just to try to grab a couple shots. We have a nice haze coming off the fields this morning, and obviously a nice sunset as well. So I'm set up with my 51.8, so we can do some nice landscape shots, as you can see here. Very, very nice golden glow coming off over the fields and the haze around the trees. I'm shooting, because we're doing landscape, I'm shooting at f11, and I'm aiming about 2/3 of the way out into the fields, trying to capture a decent picture. So you have to adjust for the light. As you can see, depending on where we're aiming, the light meter is moving and jumping a bit, and the camera is surging a bit, trying to find its right spot. So we'll aim down just a little bit. And I like it just a little touch on the dark side, just because it is so overexposed with the goldenness. So we're going to take a shot there. And there you go. I aimed a bit lower than I had been, but still a nice reflection there coming off the roadway as well, which is kind of unique. All right, we'll continue on and see what else we can find today. Okay, so as you can see, I've made it into Stratford finally after stopping multiple times to get some of these beautiful sunrise pictures. It's been a nice morning out here. Temperature is perfect for mid-September. It's nice to be able to be out in shorts and a sweater in the morning when you're out shooting, so you're not overheating. One of our favorite stores here, the Corner Store Candy Company. We come in here all the time. It's a nice thing about living in a place like Perth East and Perth County is there's so many places that you can just come to and set up for a short period of time to do some shooting, even on some rural side roads. It doesn't have to be anywhere fancy. But as you can see this morning, we're going to head down towards the river and see what we can find. Stratford has some of the most picturesque areas in their downtown. They take a lot of care and put a lot of time and effort into their gardens and their park areas. And you can see every morning there's people out here running about, walking and enjoying this great town. Sun already providing some nice reflection. There's the boat for the boathouse. Looks like they're getting set up for another day. I'm sure they'll be busy today with people paddle boating out on the Avon. Alright. We're going to walk down to the far end of the river and we'll work our way back. You really have to keep an eye out when you're walking. Down here, nestled in amongst the trees, just above the water, is this little guy. Try not to scare him off, because I'd like to get a picture of him as well. Let's see what we can do.
Sun's still coming up nicely here. Still a little bit of a haze. See what we can get for a picture here. Looks like a good spot. Some beautiful reflection here further down on the river. So you can see the sun is still coming up over the Tom Patterson Theatre. I stopped over here at the gardens up at the corner. Try to grab a few shots. I've taken a few shots along the way because I keep seeing different things that look great with the sun casting in behind it. We'll see how it works out, but so far very happy with what Stratford's given us this morning. I'm going to try to get a shot of this nice reflection. So I took a few steps over from here where you can see there's a little more light shining through the trees, and I'm just up on this little hill trying to capture this view here where we see a little bit of the branches over top of the water and the nice distance. We have a little bit of haze down over the water at the far end where it curves. So just remember as you step over here to be checking your light meter. I always catch myself every couple times. I'll start taking a couple snaps and I'll look in through my viewfinder, and the next thing I'll realize is I'm shooting too dark or too light. So make sure you're making that adjustment. And on days like today, I've been shooting at different apertures depending on what I'm trying to get. I've been at 2.8, I was just at 4.5, and now I just shot at 11, trying to get different viewpoints from the same location. And each time you do that, you lose a couple steps within your light. So you have to adjust that, and the way I've been doing that is through my shutter speed. So I haven't had to get to any real low shutter speeds, but if I was, because I really needed that extra light, I would be moving to my tripod, but I'm able to handle things just fine by hand. Anything lower than a 60th of a second starts to get a little shaky for me. Everyone's different. Everybody has a different ability to maintain their camera. But for me, I don't like to go too low past the 60th of a second, or it starts to make it more difficult to get that clear image. Okay, so we've walked down to the other end of the river. I'm going to cross this bridge here, and we're going to slowly make our way down towards the gardens, which is the other side. I'm going to stop here. Now the sun is at our back, so we have a nice lighting here. You can see on the tip of the trees in the courthouse over there, nicely exposed. Same with the bridge on the right side of these trees, and still we're getting these beautiful mirror-like shadows into the water. So we'll definitely stop here for a minute, grab a few shots, and then I'll continue on down into the gardens, and we'll see what that looks like today.
As we step down into the gardens here, you can see quite a beautiful area. Lots of different levels here, lots of things going on, and a beautiful area just to explore. So many different types of plants, flowers, and the light is hitting them all in a different way, just depending on where they are and how tall they are. So I'll take a few shots and you'll see what we've got.
So we're down here still in the gardens, just taking a walk around. I have to be careful every time I go to shoot because now the sun's behind me, and as you can see, depending on where you stand, you can affect your shot. So last thing I want is a shadow of myself amongst the image. So just remember to stop every once in a while and look at where you are and make sure that you've found a spot to stand that puts you out of the shot, which can be a bit difficult sometimes, but not impossible by any means. So, but very tranquil morning out here. The birds are chirping. Lots of people have been out walking, and it's just absolutely beautiful. Okay, so we've walked most of the park. I've stopped multiple times to grab some shots, whatever catches my eye. As you can see, it's still very beautiful out right now. And this park just has the right mix of light and dark, kind of finding neat little spots to stop and take an interesting perspective or viewpoint. So I'm not sure what time it is. I feel like we've been out for probably an hour and a half. I know I've shot hundreds of pictures along the way. Of course, editing I'm a bit picky with, so I like to shoot more, cull it down, edit it, and only keep the really good ones. So having a lot of shots in different angles, different focus points, changes the lighting, gives you those options to pick which one you like the best, or the shot you were in your head you were trying to go for, because that for me always seems to be the issue. Is I look at something through my eyes and want to replicate that through the camera, and that doesn't always transpire the same way. Now the 50 mil is supposed to be fairly similar to what the eye sees, the human eye sees. Now I'm shooting on a crop sensor, so that changes that slightly, but at the same time the clarity is there, and you can't zoom on the camera, but you zoom with your feet, and you find different ways to utilize the lens and get some really beautiful pictures. So when I get back, I'll be editing, try to put this whole thing together. This is my first time doing the video and shooting, which has been interesting, trying to manage two different devices. I was smart enough to pack a protein bar and a bottle of water, which I didn't mention when I was packing up my bag earlier. But I did take a break and sit amongst the garden here in the quiet and have a snack in between, because why not? Well, I hope everybody's enjoyed this. I know I have. If you've got your camera sitting at home and you're just not out there shooting, just go out and do it. This is what you're missing. Mornings like this, and it can be anywhere. It doesn't have to be here. It can be anywhere in your village, your town, your city, somewhere where you can find places like this to enjoy and capture some really great images. Thanks for coming along with me. Till next time, take care.
Well, that's it for this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed. And hit the subscribe if you'd like to follow along and see what other journeys we go on and other tips and tricks we pull out of our hats to be able to help you get your camera out and start shooting. Bye for now.